Hey guys, welcome back to the Musings of Maverick channel. Maverick here with episode 6 of Somali and the Forest Spirit. So, last episode we were left on a kind of a cliffhanger, I guess you could say, with Somali and Gollum meeting Uzoi and Haitora, I believe, who is actually a human and apparently has a life-threatening illness that can only be resolved by the blood of humans. And so, poor Somali is being targeted for harvesting, I guess you could say. Now, obviously that's not going to go down, right? And it's not going to get anywhere close to that, I feel, with how this series is going so far. I mentioned a few different options that this could play out in the last episode. I'm not going to go through it again. Honestly, though, I'm more interested in once everything settles down, and then they can have a nice sit down and chat on the current status of humans within this world, basically. Particularly for Haitora. You know, how did he get here? Does he know of other humans? So on and so forth. Because I suspect that will probably form the basis of the next leg of the journey for our protagonists. So, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, flashback. Of course. All the drama. No. Alright. It's one of those openings. Because of the drama and whatnot. Then again, this is a two-parter. At least. Might be even more. Hard to say. Like I also mentioned in the last episode, watch the opening here. After Uzoi and Haitora, I don't really see any others. Like, we saw those two, we saw him, we see them. No one else. There's no one else. So is that like the last characters that we meet here now? Or of course, the other alternative is that we might be having an opening change next episode. That's also a possibility, I guess. I mean, there's not really that much left within the opening to show what's going to happen for the next 6 or 7 episodes. So, I would bet that we get an opening change. Dying flowers look up at the birds. Oh, that isn't an ominous presence at all. Wait, it's not even confirmed? I would have thought she would fall into the river. This is the most awkward fight ever. They're gonna fall into the river, aren't they? Yep. Called it. So I guess situation is the second option. That's not really how blood purification works, but okay. Alright, now that all that drama's over. You're one to talk. There we go. Right, did she eat one of their kin? Okay. Eesh. asks. 'How did you end up eating them? Well, that is why they want to catch them. One of the reasons, anyways. Why are you walking around on the main road if you're trying to evade someone? Jeez. Crack. You know, I can get ambushing them, but why'd you have to eat them? You don't even know if their meat is... You had tons of berries right there. What's... That was definitely a moronic decision. Eesh. Like... Oh, man. I know well... That poor mother and child. Like, that has got to be one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen. Oh, did you hear it? Damn. How is this going to... Okay. Next prediction. He's gonna die saving Uzui. If not in this episode, then the next one. Yeah, she has. I like that though. Oh. Okay, never mind. I don't think he's gonna die. Oh, actually. Will he? It's actually really hard for me to tell right now. Hmm. I think... Hmm. Okay, I changed my mind again. He's... Especially with him exerting himself like this. Probably not by this dude, but still going to die from the illness. Okay. Now he can hug her? Yeah. So are you, Somali. So are you. Hmm. Alright. It turned out darker than I anticipated, but still ended with a good ending, let's say. Well, see you guys after this. Well, lots of things happened this episode, some entirely expected and some entirely unexpected. So let's talk about them, right? So first of all, the entire, how things played out in regards to the confrontation between Somali and Uzoi. So, that they basically went for option 2 that I mentioned last episode, which, I'm not gonna say it's like a super, a super genius call or whatnot. I felt like I could glean some clues from that just from the way that the animation was putting emphasis on the river and on the surrounding environment and whatnot whilst they were walking over there, right? I feel like this sort of setup is actually used a lot in anime and manga and as well, so it's nothing new. And in fact, they were reunited a lot earlier than I had anticipated. I thought it was going to be the case where maybe half this episode they were completely separated from each other and each talking to their respective partners whilst they were trying to find each other. So Somali and Uzui appearing, and then Golem and Hitora appearing, just trying to find each other. And in fact, if I actually had some idea that this was the true story of Hitora, I would have even gone as far to say that I feel the episode might be set up in a way where just as whilst the two parties are searching for each other, and just as Hitora was, Hitora and Golem are maybe resting, and so Hitora finally spills the bean on the entire situation, and just happens to be within earshot of Somali, or sorry, not Somali, Uzoi, who was basically just searching for them, right? And so that's why he was talking about it in a situation where he didn't expect Uzoi to hear about it, but that's what happened in the end, right? And then of course the entire ending part with the chase by the monster and whatnot. I feel like this sort of setting is actually used a lot, but yeah, they had their own take on it, and that is fine, right? Now let's talk a little bit about about Haitora's backstory here. Um, of course, I actually wasn't expecting this, even though they already mentioned within the first episode that, hey, this is a world where monsters view humans as, well, let's not say monsters, the creatures here, the inhabitants here, view the humans as a food source, basically. They think their meat is tasty. They've already mentioned as such within the first episode that if they did have a chance to find a human, they would obviously try to eat it. So we already had that going forward, but for them to actually show this this sort of development, whilst all the 5 episodes up to now were really bright and cheerful and whatnot, that did come as a sort of shock to me. Now, with that being said, I mean, for those of you guys who have been here a long time, or you probably know that I'm pretty unfazed by this sort of stuff. And in fact, the only thing I would say is I would criticize Hattori's decisions here a little bit. Not actually, I'm sure lots of people will be, oh, that poor mother to Uzui and whatnot. That's actually not the case I'm trying to make. Honestly, in that kind of situation, I could not blame Hattori one bit. Sorry, not Haitora, one bit. He was in a situation where his friends and potentially other family members, or just friends, neighbors, and whatnot, were all massacred and killed by these creatures. He's in a situation where he's with his wife and daughter, and looking back, just from my personal experience with some of my peers who are fathers, I would be certain that they would do the same in order to protect their family, protect their wives, protect their wife and children here. Even though she seemed harmless in that instance, we've already seen that these creatures are omnivores. There's no guarantee that just because she's picking berries doesn't mean that she's not going to want to kill Haitora and perhaps eat him up, right? So no, so honestly, him taking that sort of action, I actually don't fault him for that. What I would fault him, though, is actually I believe he's letting his emotions and hatred cloud his judgment. Now, at that situation, what he should do is first prioritize the survival of his family and himself, right? Himself, he needs to prioritize because obviously in this sort of setting, with children there and whatnot, they're not going to last very long if you are dead. So the correct decision, the logical decision at that point would actually to just walk away. To, hey, he didn't notice me, just leave, go back, know that there's actually a food source here and that there are creatures roaming about, and maybe use the cover of night to then go back to the exact same location, forage for some food, so on and so forth, right? You don't want to actually kill them right there because that would draw unnecessary attention. First of all, you don't know what their capabilities are. Even though it's an ambush, they might have thicker skin or whatnot than you know of. And even if you did successfully kill them, what if she told others that she was going to come here? Obviously, there would be a search party coming here to search for her, and that would maybe inadvertently discover your hiding location as well. So that was just a bad decision all around right then and there. Like I said, he's letting his emotions get the better of his judgment, just wanting to kill through retribution, through hatred, through fear. And so that is why I think that was a bad decision. And not actually the killing is bad part, because I'm more of a pragmatist in regards to these kinds of matters. That was the first bad decision, and then the second bad decision was obviously eating the flesh of this creature, of this monster who you have no knowledge about, right? So once again, hatred and fear clouding his judgment. I'm sure most people would be hesitant to eat some raw meat of some unknown animal, right? You don't even know if its meat is poisonous. Here, I don't even think it's actually poisonous. It's just a case where their biological matter, their composition is compatible with humans and whatnot, right? So that again is a bad decision. Or even if you were going to eat it, there's always this case where you gotta like at least just let one person eat it and in small bites, you know, test for poison, test to make sure it's okay, and so on and so forth, right? That's just common sense. But he threw all of that away because emotions clouded his judgment. So I think if there's any lesson to be learned here, it's that, actually. And of course, the ones who do suffer is actually his poor wife and daughter, right? All because of his bad decisions. But anyways, so that's that part, and then, you know, getting to the ending, I was actually unsure what would actually happen in the end, right? Because I was honestly more convinced than not that this is going to be a situation where, Hitora was going to die in the end. Maybe not particularly just directly by the monster there, but, you know, due to the aggravation of his own illness and whatnot, he was going to die then and there, after getting forgiveness from Uzui. Right, and that would have been a very sad situation, and so on and so forth. I thought it was actually going to go towards that kind of angle instead of the still relatively happy ending that we get at the end here, right? Which may or may not be a missed opportunity. I don't know, because like I said, I'm not entirely sure where this series is going, like how dark it wants to be, or how real it wants to be, and so on and so forth. But I felt like that was, if there was a moment to kill him off, it would probably be there, and it would also serve as a nice life lesson, I guess, to Somali and Golem as well. And yeah, that's basically it. That's my thoughts for this episode. I'm not gonna say that I was disappointed he wasn't killed. I'm not that heartless, okay? But I'm just saying that I feel like that would have been a pretty good development story-wise. That's basically it. But yeah, so in the end, I guess everybody's happy. He still survives, lives a little bit longer. Who knows how much longer. But with this kind of ending and this kind of setting, I guess most of the time it's going to be a case where, because he's regained optimism in life, a heavy burden has been lifted off his shoulders, he's gotten at least partial forgiveness from Uzui already. Maybe that, you know, him having his spirits being uplifted will help him survive a little bit longer. Like, one can only hope so. But in the end, not really much information was exchanged about the rest of the humans and whatnot. Although, him mentioning the village there, I do wonder if that's going to be the place where Golem and Somali travel to next. At least take a look at the original, the remnants of the human civilization that lived there in any case. So that might be what we're going to be going for in the second half of this season. So there we go. That's my review for episode 6 of Somali and the Forest Spirit. Next week, actually, my video will be delayed. I'm going out on vacation again. Those of you guys who have followed me for a while now probably know that during winter times I like to go snowboarding and whatnot, so I do travel a lot more to, you know, go on different trips to snowboard. But once I get back, I will try to get these episodes out ASAP. Probably going to be delayed by 3 or 4 days. Sorry in advance, but hope you guys will still watch it once it eventually comes out. So, there we go. I will see you guys next week as well. Until then, bye-bye.